What's going on, everybody? In this video, I'm talking to you guys about the 5 reasons why house prices are so expensive. The hottest topic. Everyone's wondering, why are house prices this high? What's causing them to do what they do? And in this video, I got 5 reasons that's gonna make you be like, oh, that's why they're that high. And you're gonna also understand why it makes no sense they're that high from my perspective. Some things making the housing market so high shouldn't really be making it this high, but they are, and that's what we're talking about in this video, guys. So if you get any value, hit the like button. It's gonna pump this video up to other people just like you. And without further ado, let's get started. Number 1 reason why house prices are so high is because, boom, low interest rates. It fell to 2.78%. And to be honest with you, you'd be questioning yourself like, house prices are the way they are because of low interest rates? Doesn't that defeat the purpose of having low interest rates? Let me give you an example. If I buy a house that's really worth $300,000 and I pay $400,000 for it today, to be honest, that's what's happening, is you're paying that much of a premium. $400K today to get a 2.78% rate. Doesn't that defeat the purpose if the house is actually worth $300,000? I'm overpaying for a house to get a low interest rate. So many people are like, it's a low interest rate, let me lock in the house, let me buy the house. Not realizing they're paying that premium on that house. Getting a low interest rate, but overpaying so high for a house defeats the purpose. Yes, your monthly payment looks pretty, but at the end of the day, you want to have low interest rate with a reasonably priced home. Not a low interest rate in a super expensive home. It just kind of defeats the purpose of it, if you understand what I'm saying. So many of the reasons the housing market is doing what it's doing is because of the low interest rates. Guys, you got to understand that low interest rates exist to encourage lending, to encourage stimulation in the market. And that is why people take on loans and people get motivated to take loans, because the rates are low. And that's the first reason on why house prices are the way they are. The second reason is mortgage forbearance, guys. You got 2 to 4 million Americans in mortgage forbearance. And this means that those who are living in their homes don't have to pay their mortgages. Let that sink in for a second. You're living in a home, you don't have to pay your mortgage. The banks reached out to you, told you, do you want to take mortgage forbearance? And you said, don't gotta tell me twice. And you went and took mortgage forbearance. And what this does is it makes somebody who can't afford their home, who typically gets foreclosed on, not get foreclosed on, which reduces the supply in the housing market. Foreclosures give more supply. It goes to the auction, an investor buys it, he remodels it, he rents it, or he sells it. It gives rotation. And those who take these mortgage forbearances aren't even realizing that they're gonna have to pay back what they took and what they didn't pay. Not realizing that they're gonna have to figure out a way to make that make sense for the bank who gave them that mortgage forbearance. So those who are doing it are assuming that they can just refinance because there's so much equity in their homes. But the truth is, the bank's not going to let you refinance when you lost your job, you don't qualify, you're not the same applicant who you once was when you applied to get the loan for that home. So those who are essentially having mortgage forbearance are living for free, causing the market to, almost freeze. It's just kind of be stuck. And that's a big reason for the housing market to be doing what it's doing. Guys, I specialize in foreclosures. That's how I started my career at 18 years old. I would buy it from the auctions. I haven't been to one since February 4, 2020 because of the mortgage forbearance, because you can't get foreclosed on. That was a huge part of the market, and that is cut off. So that's number 2. And number 3, what we got are eviction moratoriums. You have eviction moratoriums that get extended and extended and extended and extended, and over 10 million Americans are behind on their rental payment. 10 million. And they know that they at one point will be evicted. They are almost anticipating and being ready for it. 10 million Americans late on their rent means what? It means that those landlords who own those properties can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy it if the renter's not paying. It means that the landlord who typically would have a new tenant in there, or who typically would rent that property out to someone else, isn't doing that. He's just kind of frozen. He's unable to do anything. And this is causing, like I said about the mortgage forbearance, a freeze in the housing market. It's causing those who need to be foreclosed on not to be foreclosed on, meaning the houses aren't being on the market. It's causing those who need to be evicted to let the landlord re-rent or relist the house not happening. This is creating a freeze. This is creating in the rental market something that's going to give an influx to the real estate world once they do get evicted. And it's crazy. And keep in mind, the landlord's still paying property taxes, property insurance, property mortgage. They're still paying property maintenance, all these things going out of pocket. So you better believe when this tenant stops paying their rent, the landlord instantly wants to take them out. So when this eviction moratorium gets lifted, you guys are going to see a lot of change. Those landlords are going to want to sell their property. Or if they re-rent, they're going to have some strict qualifications. And all that in turn is giving you an understanding of why house prices are so high right now, but also do it on the flip side, and you'll understand why house prices could actually start going down. Now, the fourth reason on why house prices are the way they are is institutional buyers. Listen to this story. D.R. Horton built 124 houses in Conroe, Texas. They rented the entire community. They didn't go and sell it to people like you who want to buy houses. They rented the entire community for then going and sold it for $32 million. Rented it, then sold it to an institutional buyer for $32 million. Now let me ask you this. Institutional buyers are buying in the billions of dollars. They are getting interest rates at 1.5, 2%, if not less, whatever they negotiate, because they're buying so much. You're getting it at 2.78%, 3, 3.54, 4.5%. They can pay $5, $10, $15, $20,000 over what you can pay and still be in a better position. This is why the housing market is the way it is. You got institutional buyers wiping out normal buyers and wiping out investors. They went and bought an entire subdivision from D.R. Horton at one point. They just cashed it out. Instead of you going and buying that, that's your competition right there. That's a huge reason why the market's doing what it's doing and why prices are the way they are. Open Door is doing the same thing. They're buying houses, then they're relisting them for a way higher price. They're doing it in the same day. Buying it, selling it, buying it, listing it. They don't care making 5, 10 grand profit, but they're getting the markets to get pushed up. This is what we're dealing with, guys. And the fifth and final reason house prices are doing what they're doing is low supply. This is basic economics. You got low supply, you got high demand, there's not much options. That one buyer loves that one house, but that one buyer has 100 other buyers who all love that one house. And therefore you're seeing what you're seeing, guys. Low supply, insane amount of demand, and there's limited options. And the crazy thing is that buyer doesn't really love that house, but they're time crunched. They overgrown their house. They have to make a move. They're relocating from a different state. They have no choice. So even though they want another room and another game room, that's the only option they have for that house. And therefore, they are overbidding on it because they want to win it. And so many more in that same boat. And everybody's just panicking. Everybody's trying to buy the house because they believe prices will keep going up. And in real estate, we understand cycles. Things don't just keep on going up. Eventually, they come down. And right now, what we're seeing in the housing market, guys, it is crazy. And I want to ask you this question. What happens when the supply for houses becomes more? What happens when there is more inventory for buyers? Right now, buyers are getting smart. I'm going to flip this for you right here and listen to this. These 5 reasons why house prices are high are the exact 5 reasons why the house prices will go down. Watch this. What happens when interest rates go higher? What happens when mortgage forbearance expires and now you can get foreclosed on? What happens when eviction moratoriums get lifted and now you can get evicted? What happens when institutional buyers now have legit competition with buyers, because right now buyers are not trying to overpay to these extents? What happens when prices come down and buyers come in aggressive? And what happens when low supply becomes a lot of supply? Guys, these reasons right here are the reasons why the housing market is hot and exact reasons why it can go down. It's all a timings game. It's all patience and watching the market and understanding what's happening. So guys, if you're watching this video wondering why are house prices so high, I really hope this clarified it and made it make sense for you. And most importantly, if you like this, if you got value from it, on this channel I talk real estate, money, and business. 3 things that can hopefully help you take your life to the next level. And I share with you guys only the things I know, the things that I do, the things that I've experienced. So if you enjoy that, then subscribe. I upload 3 times every single week and I love seeing you. Anyways, guys, stay updated, stay connected, and I'll see you all later. I'm out.